1304 Wyoming Avenue. I think it's laudable that you want to save money by possibly going for single stream, but I have all of the recommendations from the PEL lead that Mr. Boyle presented, and under exploring single stream recycling, he also has private haulers, so maybe that would free up our workers to do other street work. He also mentions enacting a fee to cover the recycling costs. He also mentions in his recommendations that the borough taxpayers are subsidizing recycling costs for other municipalities and possibly dropping those. He also says under his recommendations, no written contracts exist between the borough and those participants. So, I mean, I think this is something that shouldn't be sort of, I don't want to use the word railroaded in at one meeting. If single stream is going to save the taxpayers money, certainly we're all for it as taxpayers. But also there's other recommendations there, so maybe at a work session you can look at all of his recommendations and come up with other things there besides just saying single stream. Whether it's our collectors or, as he suggests in his recommendations, private haulers. Yes?
Please stay standing.
That's okay, I'm going to sit.
Were you at the work session when you presented?
No, we were on vacation.
Okay. At the work session, what was said, that was a preliminary draft. And we recommend that
Well, I got it from our website.
any borough resident wants to read it and make comments, criticism, condemnation, suggestions, please give them to our borough secretary, Deborah Serger. I called Mr. Boyle up the next day with some stuff I wouldn't say wrong, but were misleading that night. And when I spoke to him and his secretary, his assistant that day, he said that's what's called a preliminary draft, and not to take any action on it until the time they get all the correct information out.
So this whole document hasn't been accepted by the borough?
No.
Oh.
No, he told you about the question. But Mr. Coleman, this is pushing your point, I don't have to cut you off. And a lot of things you said are correct. But my job is sitting up here is to worry about Borough of Exeter, not the other towns we recycle for. My main job is up here is worry about Exeter Borough. Not about Exeter Township, Jackson Township, whoever else. Our job is worry about Exeter Borough first.
Yes, John. You're working for us, the taxpayers. I agree. And
that's my job.
Yes.
Not worry about Exeter Township.
And the reason that I supported that is because I firsthand saw when we didn't have enough people that day, what do we go to? You go to single stream. So therefore, if you're short guys and you're short the people, manpower and everything, what do you go to? You're going to single stream. That means that you can do it with less people and it's getting done. So therefore, if it wasn't done that day at all, said, hey, you can't lift the stuff, can't do it, but instead we turn around and we take the single stream packer, what do we use that day, the packer? And what do? We go out and we single stream. So me looking at it saying, why are we going to double and go to what we've been doing? Why not? Go to it. He just got done saying, and I read everything that he said. So that's the reason I made that decision. But you're right, he did make those recommendations. But after seeing us go out and pick up with single stream after that, that just tells me that, and no one made that decision. He didn't know about it. No one knew. Guess who made the decision?
The guy's right there.
The head of the department, who we respect, and he knows how to get it done.
Yes.
Not you and I, but the person who's doing it.
Yes, but I also will say this, that my mother, who's 92 on Jesse Street in Exeter, and my mother-in-law, who's 83 on Bennett Street, it wasn't picked up until Tuesday, and sometimes it's not done until Wednesday. And again, that's First Ward, but again, if it's going to be all done in one day, Vince, and that alleviates people to do other borough work on, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever, if you can get it all done in one day with single stream, if that helps, that's great.
Holiday on Monday? No.
No, it has occurred before. It's taken 2 days. Their information, their stuff was not collected until Tuesday, and it's out Monday, and it's not collected on Tuesday. But I do agree with Ms. Adams in that it should be discussed at a work session where you could, nail all of this stuff down.
Mr. Coleman, is that I think single stream was great. The borough was on single stream, but the residents didn't know we were single stream. The residents didn't know they could mix everything that day and throw everything in. So it's nice to let the residents know we're doing stuff too. But so it really wasn't single stream.
Yeah, we're just putting your ducks in a row.
It really wasn't single stream. It was single stream pickup, but it wasn't single stream for the residents. They didn't know anything about it. So, but if in the future they know, it would be nice. But we can work on that and do it the right way. In that report, if you read, he says even explore going with a private hauler because Nanaco did it and they actually saved money. So That's why I suggested the feasibility first, so.
That's no problem with that. The only thing to be saying, they're in a 3-year contract with our hauler, we're gonna open up the contract, open up recycling then?
We could possibly sit down with them and give recommendations from our attorney on how we can legally do that. We want to do everything legally,
Yeah, but that.
and we can look into that, and we could probably bid that part of it, and they already have the contract to pick up, maybe they'll give a better, who knows? Put it out there to the public.
That's not fair to other people.
I just said, put it out there to the public, Mr. Morgan. You must listen before you speak. Thank you.
Okay.
You have 2 ears, 1 mouth.
Stand up and say your name.
Mary Pat Coleman, 1304 Wyoming Avenue. I agree with what you're saying, that they had the capability of going single stream, but I think it's and that's commendable, but I think that it's wise to look to see what it's going to cost the borough. Are we
We
going
just
to?
had that last Tuesday when we were here, they went through the whole thing, that's what we meant.
I familiarized myself with that. I looked at it before I saw everything online.
Financial review.
And the thing is, if we're going to lose money, then we should, look at the feasibility of it, versus how much manpower you're going to increase. I don't think one item should be picked out and put through tonight without looking at all the other items too. And also it said in that report that you were supposed to have a public hearing before anything was accepted, but you're taking something out of that, you're extracting one of those and trying to put it through before a public hearing's even
I
held.
tried to do it 6 months ago, we were going after the gaming grant.
I understand, but
You
what
set these meetings.
but what I'm saying is,
But can I ask you a question?
let's not put the cart before the horse. Sure.
How do you know unless you do it for a 3-month, 6-month time before you lose or make money? How do you know?
Because you look at other, but you can look at other communities.
We're extra borough, we're worried about extra borough. We have so many residents in this town.
I know.
Is everybody recycling that, sir?
Yeah, but see, if you look at other communities and you see how,
I'm not worried about other communities, I'm worried about this town.
no, but what I'm saying is, and see how it helped them raise money or lose money.
Okay. Anyone else? Please stand and say your name.
Renee Valenti, 170 Anthracite Street, Exeter. I'm just asking council to approve Karen for applying for the gaming grant that's going to be coming up again for our water problem on the corner of Anthracite and Lehigh. You were approved for the pumps in different areas, but the portion of the gaming grant for the corner of Anthracite and Lehigh was not approved. So I'm just asking council to approve Karen to request that gaming grant again for that water problem at the corner of Anthracite and Lehigh. That's the
To
one.
add what you're saying, last year, just to refresh your memories, I made an application on council's behalf for 2 14-inch pumps and an appropriate aperture, and also for the area where Renee lives, and that was considered underground piping and so forth. It took the water to Nick Square. That part of it did not get funded. That's what she's asking about.
Thank you, Ms. Conlon.
So I'm asking for that. And just one other thing, since we have the water problem, I think that's been a dry summer, so far everything's been good. I don't want rain, but anyway, when it does rain, the portion that goes in the roadway into the creek, where it should be, or the pond, I should say, has about this much brush and weeds. And the last time it did rain, that water can't come through because it's brushes off this high. So I was just wondering if the street department, if they get some time to come down and clean that area so the water would flow properly.
We're recycling all week.
No, I just, when they can get some time for that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, Denise, Joe McCabe, 146 Whitlock Street in Exeter. At the work session last week, I discussed it about the weeds in Hicks Creek. In the meantime, last Saturday, I knew Tommy Shannon from the road department was on vacation, so I approached Mr. Morgan that they were using a piece of machinery across from Sturmer Street, cutting the weeds in that, and it would be ideal because it had the track on to go in the creek. So at this time, I'd like to approach Mr. Morgan if he did any research on it to find out.
Well, I was with you, I went up and met you on Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon, about 10, 15 minutes before the Penn State kickoff, and we looked at the machine, I took a picture on my phone,
Right.
and I talked to Vince about it, Vince inquired about it. I haven't ran into Mr. Karchik, but I understand that machine goes back up to there.
Because I'm on the farm now.
Yeah.
Did anybody from council address Mr. Koharchuk on either renting it or having it?
Vince stopped over to the shop and talked to some head guy, I think, I don't.
Yeah, but you gotta go right to the top. You
Well,
know,
you
you
gotta
just-
go right to the top, but sometimes he likes to go on the floor and fish.
No,
like that, so I was waiting to see,
call
I run into him, you know.
I appreciate any help from, because you know the machine's there, and Walter Koharchuk is one of the finest guys in the area that would help you if it's possible, you know? Even if you had to use one of his men, because I understand that he has a crew on layoff now, work is slow for his company, and, you know, if it was feasible to do it and get it done, you know?
We will look into it.
Thank you,
For the
Denise.
information. Anyone else? Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Second.